Right now at 5, patient information may have been stolen following a cyber attack on a healthcare provider in Oklahoma.
And we've got a brief break in some of that rain and snow, but that stuff is going to return to our forecast today. We'll take a look at that to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, an automotive garage in Joplin provides more than maintenance for a community in need.
The 4 States' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 States, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is cold outside.
That it is.
That's all I have to say about that. How was your Tuesday?
Good, because today's Wednesday.
It is. The
days don't matter. Between Christmas and New Year's, it's all just one long.
It is. Yeah, it really is one long
Time is
holiday,
irrelevant.
basically. It's and it's going to take a while to get through to New Year's, and then we'll get a little bit of a break before we have the next set of holidays to contend with. But, at least we're almost through it.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's not been too bad.
It hasn't.
It hasn't been too
it's
bad
been
at all.
lovely.
I know everybody's had some good times out there. Hope everybody out there has had some good holiday times. And if you're looking for some holiday weather, well, it's going to try and make its way back into the area today. Let's take a quick look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. You can see it is breezy. Those wind chills are fierce out there as they are falling back into the teens and 20s across the area. We also have mostly cloudy skies. MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line looking off to the east. You can see somewhat of those clouds. In fact, let me look the right way. There we are. You can see from the lights, you can see the lights reflecting on the clouds. Still want to talk about some road conditions. Now, on the Missouri side, MoDOT reporting clear roads across the region in our area, but we zoom in and we go Lynn, Anderson, and Coffee counties in southeast Kansas still have that, again, that wet pavement or seasonal conditions. So there's some slick spots on some of the highways in those counties, and we have some partially covered roadways as well into Anderson County up there. So do be aware of that. The rest of us right now, though, KDOT reporting clear pavement. Our Skywatch Storm Tracker, plenty of clouds out there, and that's how it's going to stay. We'll be mostly cloudy, a few peaks of sun here and there. We've got some light snow showers just to the east of Butler, and this is all part of that low pressure system that was off to our north, has been sinking slowly east-southeast, and eventually, as it continues to cycle around, we are going to see chances for additional rain and snow mixes out there. We're at 33 in Joplin right now, 32 in Pittsburgh. We're looking at highs today, we're only right about the mid-30s, maybe some upper 30s. And as the morning and afternoon progress, not only will we get breezy again with west winds blowing upwards of 25 miles an hour, we're also going to start to see that rain-snow mix, and as temperatures fall into the afternoon and evening, we're going to see a transition to light snow. No major accumulations expected out of this again, but we'll talk about all of that in your complete forecast, including the New Year's holiday, here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, multiple first responders were called to a structure fire Tuesday evening. Just after 7 p.m., Reddings Mill Fire, Joplin Fire, Seneca Rural Fire, the NCAD, and Newton County deputies were called to Timberlost Mobile Home Park located south of Joplin on Spurgeon Road. Upon arrival, a mobile home was found fully engulfed in flames. Deputies closed Spurgeon Road from Elm Drive to Foliage Road to allow fire equipment through. Reddings Mill Fire says that all 3 occupants made it out of the home safely. Reddings Mill Fire dismissed all units shortly after 9 p.m. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. And authorities say a small home is destroyed after an overnight fire in Commerce, Oklahoma. It happened just after midnight yesterday morning on the 400 block of South Elm. Officials say it was a garage behind a residence that had been converted into a home. A woman was treated at the scene for minor injuries. The cause of the fire is unknown, but authorities say space heaters were present. And authorities investigate a fatal crash from Christmas Eve. Troopers say 2 people traveling south on State Route H through Free State failed to negotiate a sharp turn, left the road, and hit an abandoned house. The passenger, Mary Smith of Dupo, Illinois, died at the scene. The driver was transported to a hospital in Joplin with moderate injuries. And the Missouri State Highway Patrol releases its annual post-Christmas traffic report. The MHP say 2 traffic fatalities occurred over the Christmas holiday weekend. The statewide numbers also showed a total of 124 traffic crashes, 71 traffic crash injuries, and 81 DWIs. These numbers show a significant decline from last year's 1,017 traffic crashes, 318 injuries, and 4 deaths. This year, there were no traffic fatalities on Christmas Day. And some area hospital patients get an unwelcome holiday season surprise. Some of their personal information could be in the hands of a stranger. Integris Health Facility, which operates a hospital in Miami, Oklahoma, is alerting patients of a cyber attack. Someone has breached the organization's computer files, which include patients' names, addresses, dates of birth, social security numbers, and email addresses. The breach apparently occurred on November 28th. On Christmas Eve, many patients received an email listing the specifics of their personal information. The author asked for a $50 fee to not sell the data on the dark web. And law enforcement officials and Integris ask those who receive one of those emails to not respond or click on any links. Instead, they recommend you freeze your accounts with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They say that should prohibit someone from opening an account in your name. Higher Power Garage in Joplin provided more than $50,000 of free labor for car repairs this year. Single parents, low-income families, and individuals are supported by the initiative. More than 300 repairs were done in 2023. They also sold 20 low-cost cars, vehicles that are donated by the community, fixed and sold for $500.
We feel like it's our responsibility to make a difference in our community and to share the skills and the abilities that God give us.
It felt so good. My kids were so excited. They're like, we can go to the park now.
Higher Power Garage also offers personal finance and basic automotive maintenance classes. You can find information on how to apply and how to support the programs on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a former Joplin Eagle women's basketball player announces that she is going to make the jump to the MIAA. We'll have the details. Plus, U.S. officials are expected to meet with Mexico's president in Mexico City today about the surge of migrants at the U.S. southern border. And we have rain and snow mix chances today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, last night, a former Joplin Eagle and current NEO women's basketball player announces that she's going to make the jump from junior college basketball to the MIAA. Ella Hafer is a member of the NEO women's basketball team. She's announced on her social media pages that she will commit to play at Rogers State next season. You might remember Hafer playing high school basketball with the Joplin Lady Eagles. Hafer started 19 of the 27 games NEO played last season. In her career with the Lady North, she averages 8.4 points per game. And the Kansas City Chiefs are coming off a 20-14 loss to the Las Vegas Raiders on Christmas Day. Just seemed like nothing was going right for the Chiefs on Monday afternoon. In the Chiefs' loss to the Raiders, maybe the most impressive stat was the Raiders did not complete a pass in the entire second half. But despite that, the Chiefs had 2 crucial turnovers that resulted in 14 easy points for Las Vegas. With only 2 games remaining in the regular season, the Chiefs need to win one of their next 2 games to clinch a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think just the mistakes offensively. I thought defense played a good game. Just 2 mistakes that gave them 2 touchdowns there down when you're backed up in their red zone. So you just can't do that, especially when defense is playing like they're playing. So I just got to be better in that sense and not making those mistakes and try to find a way to play the game in the best way to win it.
He went back in and did a nice job. So things happen. Emotional game. Trav's emotional, and sometimes my red hair gets to me a little bit, and so but it all works out.
In the NBA last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder looked to bounce back after their loss to the Lakers. OKC facing the top team in the Western Conference and the Minnesota Timberwolves last night. Oklahoma City gets the win at home last night, 129-106, the final. Well, still to come, the numbers are rising for young onset dementia. We'll have what you need to know. Plus, rain, snow, and a mix of the two. Still in our forecast. We'll take a look at that when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:15 on this Wednesday morning across the 4 states. A cold start out there. Our camera on the Cornell complex. You can kind of see the cloud cover out there. You can definitely see that it's still breezy. MoDOT camera, I-44 and Rangeline. You can see the lights shining up on the clouds. It is mostly cloudy across the area. And we're looking pretty good. At least the roadways for now are clear across the region, at least in some locations. This is KDOT camera, of course, on 69 south of Pittsburgh. So I have a few light snow showers just to the east of Butler. Outside of that, right now, the Skywatch Storm Tracker not picking up on much of anything other than these clouds and the spin associated with that low pressure system that brought the blizzard and ice storm situation far to our north. Thankfully, not doing the same thing down here, but we still have the potential for some rain and snow mix later today. Here's a look at what we're expecting. Again, the snow tracker not showing much. We're looking at a dusting to maybe a half inch. So snow totals are not a concern. The big thing is just going to be this business, where it starts to stick to the roadways and lead to slick spots. Now for Lynn, Anderson, and Coffee counties in southeast Kansas, we do have KDOT reporting some slick spots and even some partially covered highways and roadways out there, so do be aware of that if you're commuting up north. MoDOT at this point, at least in our area, not reporting anything on the roadways, and at this point also, we don't have any kind of winter weather alerts out there, though I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see a winter weather advisory or two pop up later today. All right, 33 in Joplin, feels like 25 with a west breeze at 9, and that west breeze will start gusting again today, upwards of 25 miles an hour. 30 in Iola, 32 Parsons, Chanute, Pittsburgh, Neodesha, 38 in Miami, 34 Neosho, and 32 in Carthage. You factor in the wind, feels like 21 in Iola, 25 in Pittsburgh, feels like 27 in Miami, so it is definitely a cold start out there. So as we go again through the morning and into the afternoon, we're going to have that rain-snow mix. Now, because we're going to be colder today, I think there's going to be a little more of that snow and a little less of the rain. But again, it's not going to pile up or add up to much, but it could lead to slick spots on area roadways, especially bridges and overpasses. And again, remember, the future track, just like radar, can't really detect or pick up on drizzle or flurries, but a few flurries will still be possible. And then we'll see some additional light snow overnight as we head toward tomorrow morning. Again, not going to add up to much, but watch out for those slick spots for sure. And we're looking at a few stray flurries as we go through our Thursday as well, even, into our Thursday. Sorry, it's like Caitlin said, all the days are just kind of jumbled together. So we'll have some light rain, maybe some snow out there, temperatures into the mid-30s by late morning. Heading into the afternoon, highs mid, maybe some upper 30s out there, and we'll have that rain-snow mix and those gusty west winds to contend with as well, so it is going to feel cold. Now, if we get any bursts of slightly heavier snow with the winds, that could lead to reduced visibility, so also keep that in mind as you're out today as well. Temperatures, that is a typo. That's supposed to be a 2, not a 7. But I'll fix that. We're looking at lows tonight back into the low 30s, so they won't fall back too far, but they'll still be cold enough. We'll deal with, again, a few flurries through our Thursday, upper 30s, low 40s Friday, maybe a few morning snow showers. And as we head into New Year's weekend, we're a little warmer Saturday and Sunday, maybe some slight rain chances on Sunday for New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, it's going to be cold, but the sun will make a return, and will at least bring in 2024 on a slightly brighter note. That's a quick check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a recent nursing school graduate, just 22 years young, is suddenly in need of a new heart. Reporter Imani Fleming talks to the mother about their dire situation.
I know firsthand what it feels like to lose a child. I don't want to go through that again.
Carnswick says her son Ryan's passion for nursing stems from losing his sister 4 years ago. She says he loves being a caretaker. Earlier this month, Ryan graduated from nursing school. 3 days later, he was taken to the hospital.
We do think that he possibly had a COVID infection about 3 weeks ago, and that he still had lingering symptoms.
He was moved to the cardiovascular ICU at a Las Vegas hospital after telling his doctors he couldn't breathe properly. Karen was told a viral infection was causing her son's heart to fail. After a 5-hour open heart surgery, Ryan was put on an ECMO, a machine that helps filter and pump blood through the body. He's also on dialysis.
They're letting all his organs take a break, and they're letting machines do all the work.
Throughout all of this, Karn says she's been holding strong. Her peers at Concord High School, where she teaches special education, making that easier for her to do.
The support I got from Concord High School makes me able to do this interview. That's my village. It takes a village. I know that I'm not alone and that I've got people to fall back on.
Ryan's doctors say his best chance of survival is the new heart they're searching for. Karn says she's hoping for a miracle.
So many things that I'm really praying for. Take a moment and think of Ryan and picture him and picture him as their doctor.
Family and friends have organized several donation sites to help pay for his care. And healthcare is more hazardous for patients at hospitals purchased by private equity firms, financing models designed to make money for investors. That conclusion comes out of a new study published Tuesday in a journal JAMA. The study looked at the rates of 10 serious adverse events associated with medical care at 51 hospitals before and after they were purchased by private equity firms. Researchers then compared those results with the rates of the same complications at more than 250 hospitals that were not owned by those entities. The study revealed in those private equity firm-purchased hospitals, there was a 25% increase in patient complications. The rate of patient falls inside the facility, central line infections, and surgical site infections all increased. The study author says treating fewer patients eligible for both Medicare and Medicaid benefits is one trend the research found. The numbers are rising for young onset dementia. Although early dementia is thought to be dictated by genetics, new research has indicated that lifestyle also plays a role. Young onset dementia means the cognitive decline that one experiences years before signs of dementia sets in. For some, that can be as early as the age of 30. A study released Tuesday by JAMA Neurology, it found that some of the more surprising risk factors are social isolation, hearing loss, and low vitamin D. A person's socioeconomic status and ability to obtain higher education also seemed to be a factor. And when it comes to allergies, many people think they're seasonal, caused by allergens like pollen in the spring or ragweed in the fall. But allergies can be triggered year-round, most likely caused by indoor allergens, as colder temperatures send people inside. Mandy Gaither has more on how to cope with winter allergies.
Just when you thought you could breathe easier, those allergies get triggered once again.
Wintertime allergies can be related to the indoor allergens, which include dust mites, cockroach, indoor mold, and then animals, especially pets.
Allergist Lily Pean with Cleveland Clinic says to first figure out what's causing your symptoms. If you have a Christmas tree, real or artificial, that could be a trigger of which to be aware.
If it's a new tree, there might be some mold related to that. So when people bring that into their homes, that can be a problem. If you have an artificial tree, if it's been stored away, that too can have accumulation of mold and or dust mite allergies.
You can also cope with winter allergies by trying a dehumidifier, cleaning often, washing your pets, using allergy-proof covers on mattresses and pillows, and making sure you have medicine on hand. That includes oral antihistamines, nasal steroid sprays, and nasal antihistamine sprays and eye drops, many of which are available over the counter.
I think we get so busy during the wintertime and around the holidays that we forget to take our medications.
If you've tried anti-allergy medication and you're still having symptoms, it's time to see a doctor. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And if you don't know if you're allergic to indoor allergens, Dr. Pean says a doctor can do simple tests to find out what may be triggering symptoms and identify if it is an allergy. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And while we may be calm and quiet now, except for that breeze, we do have another rain-snow mix on the way. We'll talk about that when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, we've got some tips for how you can keep your brand new Christmas presents safe and out of the hands of thieves.
And we've got another day with a rain and snow mix possible. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, the Party Place kicked off its annual winter art camp for a few of its closest young friends.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 States, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5:29 a.m.
The 4
I'm Caitlin
States Most
O'Shaughnessy.
Watched News starts now.
I'm Chris Warner. How are y'all doing today?
The 4 States Most Watched News starts right now.
In case you were unaware
The
of
4
that.
States Most Watched News starts now.
Here we go. Now it's really starting. So,
Please do it.
The 4 States.
Oh, happy Wednesday.
all right, Wednesday.
James, I wonder if it would help if we moved on to weather, because that might get...
There you go.
Let's just go straight to that. Let's see if that helps out at all. Let's take a quick look outside. This is our camera. I don't hear him anymore, so that's good. It's Wednesday, isn't it? It's the Wednesday after holidays, and I see poor James is back there just going, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. We're over. The rest of the show is canceled. Oh, technology. When it works, it's phenomenal. When it doesn't, it's hilarious. Sometimes it's really frustrating, and both at the same time. All right, our camera, Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We've got clouds, we've got winds out of the west, still gusting out there, so it's making it feel rather cold. Cloudy skies from the MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line in Joplin, looking back to the east along the interstate this morning. KDOT still reporting some slick spots on roads in parts of southeast Kansas anyway. Lynn, Anderson, Coffee counties, we've got some slick spots and some partially covered roadways out there. The rest of southeast Kansas reported as clear, and MoDOT at this point, at least in our area, reporting clear roads as well. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing clouds, a few light snow showers just beginning to exit our area, but this low pressure system not quite done with us yet, as we have the opportunity for some additional rain and snow showers as we go through today. Now, not expecting any major accumulations, but slick spots on roadways definitely possible. 33 in Joplin, 32 in Pittsburgh right now. Wind chills back into the 20s out there. Gusty winds through today, mostly cloudy skies. We'll have that rain-snow mix. As temperatures drop, it'll turn into some flurries, some light snow. Again, no major accumulations, but watch out for slick spots. We'll have a full look at your forecast and that rain and snow mix here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Chris, well, a caution from area law enforcement officers. All those empty Christmas packages may be a beacon for potential thieves. Though you may be enjoying those new gifts received on Christmas, the packages can send a signal that may open your house up to burglary. Empty boxes left out to be picked up by sanitation workers can give away items of value you may have received. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Department says this is an important time to remind residents about the dangers of potential theft. However, the holidays aren't the only time thefts can happen.
This time of year especially, I would say we haven't had as many instances this year as in years past reported, but it's certainly an issue, and it's not specific to the holidays. It happens year-round. So those tips to safeguard your packages, those are true throughout the year.
The sheriff recommends breaking down all boxes before disposal and taking photos of belongings such as jewelry that will help police be able to identify them if they are stolen. And happy, snappy art and paint parties in Fort Scott did what they do best yesterday. They threw a party. The party place kicked off its annual winter art camp for a few of its closest young friends. Kids attending the camp will get a chance to create clay and sculpture art and learn techniques such as firing and glazing. Camp organizers hope kids get a balance of learning and fun.
Learn to be creative. And one of the things is, in our art, we have very few rules. You know, we have a few, just like we were talking about mixing the colors. If you do this, you're going to get this. And to use those rules to get our, the result that we want, but to be creative. Story about
Kids attending the camp will get to take home at least 4 different works of sculpture and clay art. And just a few miles northeast of Carthage and right off Route 66, you'll find a hidden gem called Red Oak 2. Some call it an art project, others consider it historical preservation, but for the 8 residents who currently live there, it's home. KOAM's Tanya Bach takes us there.
Any time of day, especially on a weekend, I'll just go outside and there might be 20 people just in my yard taking pictures, hanging out, enjoying Route 66, just taking the tour.
Jeremy Morris was traveling Route 66 himself 12 years ago when he met the creator of Red Oak 2, artist Lowell Davis.
And I talked to him on the porch, found out that people actually live here, which surprised me. And I thought if anything ever comes available, I may buy a house here.
Today, Morris lives at Red Oak 2 in a late 19th century home originally built in Carthage. It's dubbed the Parsonage simply because it's next to Davis's working church, where there are music jams on Saturday nights and a service every Sunday. Red Oak 2 is actually a sequel community, about 20 minutes west of the original Red Oak.
This cemetery, a church, and a few homes are all that really remains of Red Oak, Missouri, the childhood home of Lowell Davis. It used to be a thriving community along Route 66, but after World War II, its residents moved away, basically becoming a ghost town. A fate Mr. Davis was not willing to accept.
So Lowell decided to, at some point, when he made money off his farm figurines, basically, let's start moving these buildings to my property. I have a whole cornfield that I don't use because I'm not a real farmer, and let's make a farm, let's make a town, and I'll recreate from memory what my town was like, but better.
Memories like growing up in the back of his father's general store and attending school in a one-room schoolhouse and outhouses.
Back here is one of our 12 outhouses. This is where Lowell used to keep all his civic awards.
The current feed and seed store was the first building Davis moved from Red Oak to Red Oak 2 in 1987.
They would cut some of these buildings in half and move them in the middle of the night on the streets. And then some buildings, like the log cabins, were moved log by log, sometimes numbered.
Davis also found and moved a number of historical buildings, including this 1850s Civil War home from White Oak, Missouri, and the Clinging Smith cabin that Davis found in a field in La Russell, Missouri.
This is an 1850s cabin. The original wall, south wall, ended right here, made of hand-hewn logs.
Davis passed away 3 years ago, but before he did, he made Morris and the other residents promise him one thing.
He told me before he passed, he said, keep it art. Doesn't have to be my art, but I want it to be art.
A request to take the baton and continue building Red Oak 2 in the spirit and legacy of Lowell Davis. Reporting along Route 66, Tanya Bach, KOAM News.
The residents of Red Oak 2 are still adding to their community. Tomorrow on KOAM Morning News, we learn how the newest arrival was once used to help create Jasper County. We'll also learn about Red Oak 2's outlaw connection. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. In China, Beijing has recorded its longest cold wave in modern history. Plus, Israel says its ground offensive in Gaza has expanded into refugee camps. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, in China, Beijing has recorded its longest cold wave in modern history. Residents of the megacity are struggling to stay warm, and power plants throughout the country are on an overdrive to heat up homes. Mark Stewart has the story. Some senior U.S. officials are expected to meet with Mexico's president in Mexico City on Wednesday about the surge of migrants at the U.S. southern border. The president of Mexico, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, had said Friday that the meeting will include Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas. This comes as U.S. authorities say the situation is at a breaking point, as more than 10,000 migrants have unlawfully crossed the U.S.-Mexico border each day recently. Mexico will also discuss its concern with the treatment of migrants. And Israel says its ground offensive in Gaza has expanded into refugee camps. The announcement of the new battle zone comes as Israeli officials signal the war is far from over following the October 7th terror attack. That's even as international pressure grows for a ceasefire. CBS correspondent Jared Hill has the latest.
Israeli airstrikes are moving to central Gaza as the country's military chief predicts the war will continue for months. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking directly to Hamas, saying, "We see you and we will get to you." While members of the Israeli military go after Hamas leaders in underground tunnels and militants launch rockets toward Israel, civilians are caught in the crossfire. Over the past 2 days, more than 240 Palestinians were killed in multiple Israeli airstrikes, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. They also say the death toll has reached nearly 21,000, with 2/3 of the dead being women and children.
It's nonstop, 24 hours a day, serious and critical injuries coming in, and a very small staff to help them.
Sean Casey with the World Health Organization in Gaza says food beyond rice is also in short supply at one hospital. And Palestinians living in the largest refugee camp in Gaza say they're struggling to find clean water. On the other side of the world, in the U.S., Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli officials about the conflict and freeing the remaining people held hostage by Hamas. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Israel says its ground offensive in Gaza has expanded into refugee camps. The announcement of the new battle zone comes as Israeli officials signal the war is far from over following the October 7th terror attacks. That's even as international pressure grows for a ceasefire. And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:44 on this Wednesday morning, halfway through this week. This is the last full week of 2023. 2024, just a few days away, and I know some of us are eager to get there and see what the new year holds. As for today, it's going to hold some cold temperatures. It's going to hold windy conditions. It's going to hold some rain mixed in with snow and vice versa. It's going to hold just kind of a mess out there for us today, but we'll start trending nicer toward the new year. We'll talk about all that right now. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We've got clouds. We've got gusty winds out of the west. Those wind gusts will continue to be upwards of 25 miles an hour. So we are talking some unpleasant wind chills through the day because unlike yesterday where at least some of us made it into the low 40s, nobody's going to make it into the low 40s today. So these wind chills are going to be back into the 20s through most of today. All right, so we can see right now, roadways, parking lots, things like that, all clear. MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line or at range line. Looking back to the east, I-44 also clear. I did note yesterday, KDOT went ahead and pre-treated at least some bridges. Take Old 96 to get back to Joplin, and I noticed they had pre-treated those bridges, which is a good thing to do because we're not quite done with wintry weather yet, and bridges and overpasses are the most susceptible to wintry weather. All right, let's take another look. This is the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue south of Pittsburgh. As you can see, roadways, even the grass, still clear at this point, but that is going to begin to change as we head into the late morning and afternoon hours. So let's take a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Not really that much out there. A few snow showers. Really not much outside of that. However, that big low pressure system that brought ice storm warnings up into the eastern Dakotas, blizzard warnings for Nebraska into Kansas is now shifting, and as you can see, it's almost right on top of Kansas City. And as it continues to rotate around, we're going to get on the backside and get some additional rain and snow chances. Now, with our temperatures not going too high today, I think it's going to be more of a snow shower event versus any actual rainfall, but the good news is, unless you really want some snow accumulations, we're not looking at much. We're talking a dusting to maybe a half inch of snow across the area out there. So not much in terms of actual accumulations. However, it's been cold enough, it'll remain cold enough that the roads are again the biggest concern for getting slick spots out there. So you definitely want to watch out for that. Now, MoDOT not reporting any kind of road condition issues at this point in our immediate area. Of course, up north it's a little different, but KDOT, in our area at least, as we get into Lynn, Anderson, and Coffee counties, we've got the seasonal road conditions, which is that green, meaning there's some slick spots out there, and now stretching back down toward Iola, you can see we've got some partially covered roadways as well out there, so you need to be aware of this and watch out for those slick spots out there. Slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. We're cloudy. It is 33 in Joplin. It is chilly. That wind chill feels like 25. West breeze at 9. And again, it'll pick up and start gusting again out there through the day. And eventually it's going to begin to shift again as we head into the late evening hours and into our Thursday. 31s, a string of them along the 54 corridor, Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton. 32, Lamar and Pittsburgh, as well as Parsons, Chanute, and Neodesha. 35 in Miami, 34 in Neosho. And you factor in that wind. Now, right now, the breeze still somewhat light compared to what we're going to see a little later. So it's cold, but not as cold as it could feel if it was gusting a little higher. 22 Yates Center, feels like 24 in Fort Scott, 27 Pittsburgh, Miami, feels like 25 in Lamar. Let's take a look at the future track. We head into the late morning hours. We're going to start to see an increase in the snow showers and maybe some light rain out there, some drizzle for sure, as this system continues to work its way slowly off to the east-southeast. So here we are at noon. We could see little periods of heavy snow from time to time, and with the winds that could lead to reduced visibilities. Again, it's not going to add up to much in terms of accumulations, but could cause some visibility issues out there, so be aware of that as well. Now, most of what we see in terms of the snow showers and the rain-snow mix are roughly going to be along the 69 corridor, maybe as far west as Kansas 7 and points eastward. And then as we go into the overnight, we'll see a few flurries, and then by tomorrow morning, a few more snow showers, maybe a bit of a wintry mix, and then we'll just kind of deal with flurries. So of course the future track can't see that. It's not really going to pick up on the flurries, but we'll be dealing with a few stray flurries through our Thursday. All right, rain, snow, mix, light through the morning as it starts to increase across the area. Mid-30s by late morning. Not a lot of change in the temperatures. Highs right around the mid-30s, maybe some upper 30s out there. And again, that west wind gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. As temperatures fall, of course, any kind of rain mix in there will transition to some flurries, light snow as we go into the overnight hours, dropping back into the low 30s. Tomorrow, a pinch warmer. Upper 30s, and we'll still see some flurries through our Thursday. Could lead to some morning snow showers on Friday. Friday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, but once those snow showers clear out, we're a pinch warmer as well into the low 40s. Upper 40s Saturday, partly cloudy, so not bad. New Year's Eve, maybe a stray shower or two, mid 40s, so about where we should be. It's chilly, but where we should be. New Year's Day, cold but sunny. So we go into the upper 30s to bring in the new year, and as we get into the first week of 2024, we'll do a little warming with some additional rain chances toward the end of the week. And that is a quick check of your forecast. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
A family in Illinois accidentally bought $10,000 in Disney Plus gift cards instead of Disney destination cards ahead of their Disney vacation. One family member made a TikTok video about the mishap that's gone viral, and Madison Porter has a story.
Andrea's family has been trying to plan a big vacation for years. It was her parents' idea. She says they always talked about how they're getting older and want to squeeze in one last big family trip, until they accidentally bought 100 Disney Plus gift cards instead of Disney Park gift cards.
We just kind of sat dumbfounded for a minute or two or 10.
The gift cards wouldn't work online to buy park passes.
That's when my dad came out of his office. And he was just like half laughing, half dejected. And he was like, you're never going to believe this.
Andrea says they didn't know what to do. They were on customer service lines with Sam's Club and Disney trying to figure out how to exchange them when she had the idea to make a TikTok.
I'm going to throw up this TikTok. Maybe somebody has an email or a different customer, service line we can call.
The TikTok went viral, and with both personal and online connections, they got it fixed.
Everybody, that we've been contacting has been really kind and patient and helpful.
Through TikTok, Andrea says she's received hundreds of comments and messages from people saying they've done it too.
It was a total honest mistake, and it's been so validating to have so many other people be like, oh, no, we did it too.
Now it's a moment her family will never forget.
Our, great-grandchildren will hear about this story.
After 3 days of an emotional roller coaster, Andrea's family can't wait to get on some real roller coasters like Space Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain now that the trip is back on. We'll be right back. It's not only basketball players who are determined to set new records for slam dunks. A border collie from Fairfax, Virginia had that same goal. 5.5-year-old Leonard is no slouch. He gave it his best shot outside. Get this, the Lazy Dog restaurant and bar in Chantilly. Teresa Nula is Leonard's owner and trainer. She says the desire to have her pet break the world record for slam dunks by a dog came to her naturally. And Powerball was not in the spirit of giving this Christmas. There was no jackpot winner in the lottery games drawing Monday night, but you can still get yourself a Powerball ticket as a Christmas present for tonight's drawing. The jackpot prize has not grown to an estimated $685 million. Should you win, that would help buy all the gifts you didn't receive on your Christmas list.
It certainly would help buy some of those extra gifts, but you know, the greatest gift of all is family and friends, right? Absolutely. Yes. All right, so here we go. We are looking at mid-30s today, winds gusting out of the west at around 25 miles an hour. We'll have that rain-snow mix, and honestly, with these temperatures, I think it's going to be more of a snow shower event. That's really a wet snow. We're not expecting much in the way of accumulations beyond the dusting to maybe a half inch along in east of, say, the Highway 7 corridor, but with the gusty winds, if we get little bursts of heavier snow, could lead to reduced visibilities and definitely could cause some slick spots on area roadways, especially bridges and overpasses. So again, we just want to emphasize, take it slow. Make sure you're prepared for that as we head through the evening and into tomorrow morning. A few light snow showers, maybe some flurries as we go into the overnight hours, back in the low 30s. A few stray flurries for us throughout the day on Thursday. We go into the upper 30s, low 40s Friday, a few morning snow showers, and then mostly cloudy. A little warmer Saturday, a little more sunshine Saturday. Some stray showers on Sunday for New Year's Eve, and 44. 38 for New Year's Day, so cold to kick off the new year, but sunny, and 43 by next Tuesday. We'll be back with another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, multiple first responders were called to a structure fire in Newton County yesterday evening.
And we've got ourselves a mostly cloudy start out there across the area. It's got some rain and snow mix on the way. We'll talk to you. Take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, patient information may have been stolen following a cyber attack on a healthcare provider in Oklahoma.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So, it's Wednesday.
That it is, Chris.
This is the last full week of 2023.
Yes, I am so ready for 2024.
And an exciting fact that, unless you really look at the calendar, because nobody who looks at an actual calendar anymore. I know there's some people, but who's actually going to notice this unless you're really looking? The last day of the year is 1-2-3-1-2-3.
I did hear that.
I saw that, and I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you celebrate just maybe that fact. Maybe you're not into New Year's celebration. You can celebrate that it's going to be 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Maybe play some songs that have 1-2-3 lyrics in them.
There we go.
There's plenty of them, right?
Absolutely.
And we have a 1-2-3 punch from Mother Nature with rain, snow, and wind as we head into today. Let's take a quick look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We've got mostly cloudy skies. We've got those breezy west winds leading to pretty chilly wind chills into the 20s. And then we've got that potential for a rain-snow mix as we head into the late morning and afternoon hours. MoDOT camera, I-44 at range line, looking back to the east. Clear roads for the time being. However, that could change. Now, MoDOT is reporting clear roads in our immediate area. KDOT, however, reporting some slick spots and even some partially covered roadways in our northern counties and southeast Kansas, so do be aware of that if you're commuting. Now, the rest of southeast Kansas is clear, and again, roughly from the Highway 7 corridor to the east is where our better chances for this rain-snow mix is going to be. That's not to say our western counties won't see some light snow, maybe some flurries, but the better chances of seeing it is going to be from that point east. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing the clouds, showing that low pressure system now immediately east of the Kansas City metro area. And as we get the morning started, we're going to start to see some additional development of some light rain and some light snow. And honestly, with our temperatures today, it's probably going to be more of that snow showers, that kind of wet snow, which because of that, we could see some heavier bursts of snow. And with the winds today gusting to 25, it could lead to some visibility issues, so be aware of that. And of course, could lead to slick spots on area roadways, but we're not expecting much in the way of accumulations. We're talking maybe a dusting to a half inch out there. It may look like a lot, but it's not going to be a lot. 32 Joplin and Pittsburgh right now with those mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy, breezy, rain, snow mix, some light snow, light flurries as we head into the evening hours. Temperatures topping out in the mid-30s today. We're going to have another complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Multiple first responders were called to a structure fire yesterday evening. Just after 7 p.m., first responders were called to Timberloss Mobile Home Park, located south of Joplin on Spurgeon Road. Upon arrival, a mobile home was found fully engulfed in flames. Deputies closed Spurgeon Road from Elm Drive to Foliage Road to allow fire equipment through. Redding's Mill Fire says that all 3 occupants made it out of the home safely. Redding's Mill Fire dismissed all units shortly after 9 p.m. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. And authorities say a small home is destroyed after an overnight fire in Commerce, Oklahoma. It happened just after midnight yesterday morning on the 400 block of South Elm. Officials say it was a garage behind a residence that had been converted into a home. A woman was treated at the scene for minor injuries. The cause of the fire is unknown, but authorities say space heaters were present. And authorities investigate a fatal crash from Christmas Eve. Troopers say 2 people traveling south on State Route H through Free State failed to negotiate a sharp turn, left the road, and hit an abandoned house. The passenger, Mary Smith, of Dupo, Illinois, died at the scene. The driver was transported to a hospital in Joplin with moderate injuries. The Missouri State Highway Patrol releases its annual post-Christmas traffic report. The MHP say 2 traffic fatalities occurred over the Christmas holiday weekend. The statewide numbers also showed a total of 124 traffic crashes, 71 traffic crash injuries, and 81 DWIs. Now, these numbers show a significant decline from last year's 1,017 traffic crashes, 318 injuries, and 4 deaths. This year, there were no traffic fatalities on Christmas Day. And some area hospital patients got an unwelcome holiday season surprise when some of their personal information could have been at the hands of a stranger. Integris Health Facility, which operates a hospital in Miami, Oklahoma, is alerting patients of a cyber attack. Someone has breached the organization's computer files, which include patients' names, addresses, dates of birth, social security numbers, and email addresses. The breach apparently occurred on November 28th. On Christmas Eve, many patients received an email listing the specifics of their personal information. The author asked for a $50 fee to not sell the data on the dark web. Law enforcement officials and Integris asked those who receive one of those emails to not respond or click on any links. Instead, they recommend you freeze your accounts with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They say that should prohibit someone from opening an account in your name. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. This year, you may have to pay a fee to return those gifts you don't want. We'll have what you need to know. Plus, a major winter storm continues to make its way across the country this morning, impacting people making the trip home after the holidays. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, you may have to pay to return those gifts you don't want. According to the logistics company Happy Returns, more than 80% of retailers are now charging a fee to make a return. Macy's, Abercrombie, J.Crew, and H&M have all added shipping fees for mail-in returns. Amazon has also started charging $1 to return items to UPS stores. One reason companies charge fees is because it hurts their profitability. They have to cover the cost of the shipping fees and then have to mark down the returned goods to sell them. Data from the National Retail Federation shows that customers sent back nearly 17% of the merchandise that purchased last year. And Ye, the rapper formerly known as Kanye West, has issued an apology for his anti-Semitic statements. Ye's posted the apology in Hebrew to Instagram. In it, Ye wrote he regrets any offense or pain he may have caused and that it was unintended. He says he is committed to learning from the experience to ensure, quote, greater sensitivity and understanding, end quote. The apology comes more than a year after Ye took to the social media and wrote that he was going to go, quote, DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Adidas later ended a lucrative partnership with Ye over his comments. He was also suspended on X, previously known as Twitter, after posting an anti-Semitic image. However, Elon Musk reactivated the account earlier this summer. And we are learning that 2 members of the Harvard Corporation, the school's governing body, met with current and former faculty members last Tuesday. According to the New York Times, the group discussed the continued fallout from its response to Hamas's attack on Israel. Harvard is facing other pressures too, including plagiarism allegations against President Claudine Gay. The Times says 2 board members were directly told that they had to do more to address the ongoing, quote, maelstrom consuming the campus. The U.S. House Committee, already investigating anti-Semitism at Harvard, says it will also look at the plagiarism allegations. And new developments in the murder case against Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in their off-campus house last year. The judge overseeing the case has agreed to place under seal a reconsideration motion by the defense to dismiss the proceedings. This follows last week when the judge denied a defense request to throw out the charges against Kohberger. He is accused of killing Madison Mogen, Kaylee Concalves, Ethan Chapin, and Zana Kernadile in November of 2022. Kohberger has denied any wrongdoing, with not guilty pleas to first-degree murder charges entered on his behalf. The prosecution has proposed trying Kohberger next summer. And a major winter storm continues to make its way across the country this morning, impacting people making their trip home after the holidays. The TSA says more than 2 million travelers passed through the nation's airports on Christmas Day alone. It's part of what's predicted to be the second busiest holiday travel season since the year 2000. CBS News correspondent Jared Hill has more from New York.
A post-holiday winter wonderland making for dangerous driving in the Midwest and Great Plains.
Just for safety's sake, we'll stop and stay wherever we end up.
Thick ice even turned this North Dakota neighborhood into a skating rink.
Is it good ice?
It's actually not bad.
But a blizzard forced hundreds of flights to be delayed or canceled Tuesday, leaving thousands of travelers stranded in Denver's International Airport.
It's a lot of people with a lot of luggage, so it's a nightmare.
According to FlightAware, 7,000 flights were delayed nationwide yesterday. More than 200 were canceled. A pain, but a far cry from last year's major Southwest Airlines meltdown. Still, folks flying out of Newark, New Jersey,
everything easy, nice,
and Detroit say the post-Christmas rush has been less hectic than expected.
I was concerned that there might be a lot of people traveling today, but I was surprised that the plane was very empty.
Friday and Monday will be two of the busiest days for the nation's airports, according to the TSA, and the National Weather Service is forecasting rain in parts of the Northeast, South, and West later in the week, all as more travelers head out to ring in the new year. Jared Hill, CBS News.
AAA predicts tomorrow will be the busiest day on the road for drivers after the Christmas holiday. Road traffic is also expected to tick up on Saturday ahead of New Year's Eve. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are looking at a cold day again today. In fact, colder than yesterday and more chances for that rain-snow mix out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker is relatively clear other than showing us those mostly cloudy skies. We zoom out, a few light snow showers in our northern counties, but not much else going on right now. But rain, snow will start to pick up as we head through the morning and into the afternoon. Our camera, 7th and range line, showing once again mostly cloudy skies, a little bit of moonlight out there, and KDOT still reporting some travel issues even in our area. Now MoDOT's reporting clear roads on our side in our immediate area, but KDOT still reporting some slick spots and even partially covered roadways in our northern counties in southeast Kansas, so do be aware of that as you go through today. MoDOT camera I-44 and range line also showing us clear roads for the time being. We are going to see cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-30s, and we'll see that rain-snow mix start to build in. We'll talk more about that and those potential travel impacts a little later on the KOAM Morning News.
Christmas was an extra special day for some grandparents in New Jersey. Their 10 grandkids, all grown up, showed up one by one at their houses as a surprise, just like they used to as children. The video of the occasion went viral on TikTok. Alicia Roberts shows us why.
Hello. Oh my God. Look, our favorite people in the world.
It's the viral TikTok video that will warm your heart. Oh. 10 cousins, all grown up, ages 18 to 40, surprising their grandparents for Christmas.
Hey, oh my God.
One by one.
Joseph, now everybody's here.
They all showed up.
How are you? I'm so good.
Pizzas and presents in tow.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey.
The takeover was overwhelming, says Tony and Pat Sindoni.
Beyond surprised, it was a shock. Take your breath away shock. I've never had just my grandchildren, none of the adults. And it was beautiful. It was like being with little kids again.
Granddaughter Emily organized the occasion.
I had seen a few of these ideas floating around, and my cousins and I are still super close. We see our grandparents all the time, but the only thing they ever want is to just spend time with us. So I thought, we got to do this.
The dress code was holiday pajamas, and no one was left out.
Every year when we were younger, every Christmas Eve, they got every cousin a pair of Christmas pajamas. So I decided they obviously had to have their own. We got the matching Mickey Mouse PJs.
I've never had Christmas pajamas.
What?
And everybody was in pajamas.
We all wore our jammies.
Yes.
So naturally we had to get into pajamas.
After the gifts were opened, everyone gathered for some old-fashioned fun and games.
Just a little sip. And we played an unwrapping game, which you see in the video where Mom has to take a shot, which was amazing.
This new tradition of togetherness is one they say they hope to continue next year, and many more to come.
It's heart-touching. It really grabs your heart that they would do that they would care enough and do all that. It was unbelievable. I don't need another Christmas present the rest of my life.
Emily's original TikTok video has more than 5 million views and counting, something she says was completely unexpected. She now hopes maybe this Christmas surprise will catch on. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got the chances for that rain-snow mix again today. Really with our temperatures, we're thinking more snow showers. No major accumulations expected, but watch out for slick spots. We'll talk about all of that in detail right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Taking a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. As you can see, not a lot out there. A few stray flurries, maybe some snow showers, but not much coming down at this point. But we zoom out. There's that low pressure system that brought all of the major travel issues off to our west and to our north, now continuing to push off to the east. And we're going to get a little bit of trouble from this thing as we head into the late morning and afternoon hours, mainly along and east of the Highway 7 corridor. Again, not to say our western counties won't see any flurries or anything like that, but mainly east of the 7 corridor. And the thing is, though, despite what it may look like at times, we're only anticipating a dusting to maybe a ½ inch of snowfall out there. But because it's going to be kind of a wet snow, it could come down heavy at times, and with our winds gusting today, could lead to reduced visibilities on area roadways, so be aware of that. And then the other concern we have, of course, is slick spots on area roadways. MoDOT not reporting any issues as of so far this morning on our side, our immediate area, I should say. However, KDOT, as you can see, this is beginning to expand now down south into Bourbon County, what they call wet or seasonal pavement, meaning that there are some slick spots on the roads marked in green, and the light blue are roads that are partially covered out there, so you need to watch out as you're going maybe around Fort Scott, Mound City, Garnett, Burlington, heading out of Iola to the north. The rest of southeast Kansas at this point, though, reporting clear roadways. Hey! There it goes. I love when it does that. It's my favorite thing. There's our camera, 7th and range line. It was taking a brief nap. It didn't realize it was time for the weather. We got mostly cloudy skies, 32. Feels like 26 with the west breeze at 7. That wind going to increase, though, as we head into the morning hours, gusting upwards of 25. So that's where the concern comes with reduced visibilities if we get little bursts of heavier snow out there. 32, Yates Center, Neodesha, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar, Carthage. 34 in Miami, Neosho. 31, Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada with the wind until it starts to pick up. Wind chills are cold, back in the low to mid-20s for the most part. 22, Iola. 23, Fort Scott, Lamar. 27, Miami, Columbus, 25 in Neosho, and it's going to stay that way as those winds increase later today. Going into the late morning, afternoon, we're going to start to see some of those that rain-snow mix, but again, with our temperatures still being so cold, yes, they're above freezing, but with the moisture, the cold air, and the winds, we're looking more at snow showers versus actual rain. And snow showers are just basically that wet snow. And that's why the slick spots on roadways are a concern, especially bridges and overpasses, because that wet snow will stick to the pavement pretty well, and then it'll get really slick. Now, as we go into the evening, we'll start to transition to just some flurries, maybe some light snow, and then overnight into tomorrow morning, another round of some heavier light snow out there. Some snow showers will resume, and then we're just going to kind of deal with flurries as we go through the day on Thursday. All right, so we've got the light rain snow mix, maybe some snow showers. Breezy conditions will pick up later. We're going to be right around 34 by 11. Highs today, only about the mid-30s, maybe some upper 30s out there. Gusty west winds pushing 25. Mostly cloudy skies, so a few peaks of sun here and there, and we'll have that rain snow mix. We'll transition to flurries, light snow through through the evening and overnight, falling back into the low 30s. We got the flurries to contend with on Thursday, upper 30s. A few snow showers lingering Friday morning. That clears out. We're mostly cloudy, though, but a pinch warmer, low 40s. Nice day Saturday, upper 40s, partly cloudy skies. New Year's Eve day, maybe some stray showers, mostly cloudy, mid 40s. Colder on New Year's Day. We're going to ring in the new year cold but sunny, so we go into the upper 30s and then back into the low 40s by Tuesday. That is a quick check of your forecast. Now here's Caitlin with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Owning a pet can help offset some verbal issues that happen to older adults who live alone. A study in Drama Network finds that pet ownership slows the decline of verbal memory and verbal fluency and may also slow cognitive decline. But for older adults who live with others, researchers say a pet did not provide the same benefits. And patient care tends to get worse after a hospital is bought by a private equity firm. A study from Harvard Medical Center indicates patients are more likely to fall, get new infections, and experience other forms of harm, even though the hospitals are performing fewer procedures and typically see younger and less disadvantaged patients. Researchers called the findings alarming because it suggests hospitals focus more on the bottom line rather than safety. And new research has identified 15 risk factors for young onset dementia, challenging the notion that it's only caused by genetics. A study published in JAMA Neurology looked at 350,000 people under 65 years old in the UK. Education, socioeconomic status, and common health issues like vitamin D deficiency were among the factors influencing dementia outcomes. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, we've got some tips for how you can keep your brand new Christmas gifts out of the hands of thieves.
We've got a cold, breezy start out there with cloud cover. We've got the rain and snow mix chances building back in today. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, an automotive garage in Joplin provides more than maintenance for a community in need.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Horner. So it is cold out there. Hopefully you bundled up this morning.
Oh yes, yeah, feeling it.
I tell you, that's the other thing. The colder it gets, the longer it takes your car to warm up too. And then the longer you have to sit there freezing to death, all huddled up in your coat, going, "Come on, let's get some heat going."
Absolutely, Chris.
I don't like it.
I don't either. You got to be careful. Right, it'd be easier at this point, wouldn't it?
I think it would. I think we should all just hibernate. But since we can't, we'll have to deal with this cold weather. And let's talk about what that cold weather is going to be like. This is the live look from our camera on top of the Cordell Complex, downtown Joplin. You can see we've got those mostly cloudy skies out there. There's a few openings. We've even seen the moon from our camera at 7th and range line here and there. And that's how it's going to be today. There will be a few peaks of sun, but otherwise mostly cloudy and breezy. MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line. Roads are clear for the time being. Traffic moving right along. We're starting to get a little daylight off to the east there as the sun rises this morning. KDOT is reporting some road issues out there, not significant ones, but in the light green, now stretching back into Bourbon County. You can see we've got what they call wet or seasonal conditions, and that means that there's slick spots on these roadways. And then north of Iola, you can see we do have some partially covered roadways out there, so you need to take it easy and watch out. The rest of southeast Kansas reporting clear roadways. MoDOT's been reporting clear roadways in our area so far this morning. Mostly cloudy skies out there across the area on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, otherwise not much. There's that low pressure system, and as we get the day started and it continues to swirl around, that's going to start to give us additional chances for a rain-snow mix, mainly really snow showers later today. So not anticipating significant accumulations. However, slick spots will definitely become an issue as we head into the afternoon, mainly along and east of the K7 corridor. And then with some of the heavier wet snow at times, with those winds gusting out of the west at 25, could lead to reduced visibilities as well at times. So watch out today. Just be careful. 32, Joplin, Pittsburgh, and again, mostly cloudy. Will be mostly cloudy, breezy. We've got the rain-snow mix. Again, maybe more so snow showers, turning into some light snow, light flurries as we head into the evening hours, and temperatures topping out in the mid-30s. We're going to take a complete look at your forecast, including the New Year's holiday, here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Empty boxes from Christmas can turn your home into a target for theft and porch piracy. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has steps you can take to keep your home safe.
The holiday season is already a high-risk time when it comes to theft. And even if you haven't had trouble with porch pirates stealing those packages off your porch, the evidence left behind of a successful Christmas can put a target on your house.
Anybody that's passing through a neighborhood this week and they see a pile of Amazon boxes or shipping boxes or even direct from the manufacturer sitting outside the curb, they're just displaying that they received a lot of something that's most likely inside that home.
But there are steps you can take to keep your Christmas goodies off the market.
One of the things is when they're putting their trash out curbside for the sanitation folks to come pick it up, break down the boxes. If you got a TV or a nice tool box or something like that, if you put the box out there, it just displays like a billboard. Grab your phone, take some pictures of those valuables, including jewelry and firearms with the serial number, and that way, should something happen, you've got it to provide to law enforcement.
Despite the concern, Sheriff Groves says it's been relatively tame this year.
This time of year especially, I would say we haven't had as many instances this year as in years past reported, but it's certainly an issue, and it's not specific to the holidays. It happens year-round. So those tips to safeguard your packages, those are true throughout the year.
So remember, if you have packages still on the way, make sure to check your porch regularly and track your packages. And also remember, those package wrappings may not be best served if they're on the street. Reporting in Columbus, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Sheriff Grove says if you do fall victim to theft, you should call 911 and do your best to not contaminate the scene. And Higher Power Garage in Joplin provided more than $50,000 of free labor for car repairs this year. Single parents, low-income families, and individuals are supported by the initiative. More than 300 repairs were done in 2023. They also sold 20 low-cost cars, vehicles that were donated by the community, fixed, and sold for $500.
The loss of transportation be a start of a spiral that can end in homelessness. And so, you know, it's their car breaks down, they can't get to work, they lose their job, that causes them to lose their house or apartment, and it just goes from there.
It's so life-changing because now I can go see my family if I want to in Kansas, and I can take my kids to the park if I want to, or birthday parties, and it's just it's life-changing for me and my kids. And I can go to the grocery store when I want to. That's another thing, is I can go to the grocery store.
Higher Power Garage also offers personal finance and basic automotive maintenance classes. You can find information on how to apply and how to support the programs on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Happy Snappy Art and Paint Parties in Fort Scott did what they do best yesterday. They threw a party. The party place kicked off its annual winter art camp for a few of its closest young friends. Kids attending the camp will get a chance to create clay and sculpture art and learn techniques such as firing and glazing. One camp organizer says the event really brings out the joy of creativity.
I really enjoy the kids and teaching, the art, and I enjoy seeing how happy they are when they're proud of what they have created. Story about them.
Kids attending the camp will get to take home at least 4 different works of sculpture and clay art. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The idea of eating sardines may not go down easy for some, but the tiny tin fish is now growing in popularity. We'll have the details.
And we've got ourselves a cold and cloudy start to the day. Rain and snow chances increasing through the morning. We'll talk about that in the forecast when we come back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, the idea of eating sardines may not go down easy for some, but the tiny tin fish is now growing in popularity, with sales up nearly 10% last year. Bradley Blackburn explains how social media is fueling a fishy trend and why new shop is swimming in business.
In the heart of Times Square, right on Broadway, the stage is set for the humble sardine. This is the fantastic world of the Portuguese sardine, an opulent shop that's luring skeptics.
I'm not a fish person.
It's the first U.S. outpost of a company with decades of history, now betting Americans are ready to see tinned fish in a starring role.
The fish is caught in Portugal, prepared in Portugal.
Joanna Quaresma came from Portugal to open the shop in August. Since then, customers have crammed in, like, well, sardines, many capturing it all on their phones.
For us, for this whole time, canned fish has always been something very, very important in terms of a cultural thing, but now it has become a trendy thing.
Their sardines are packaged like jewels. Some even have edible gold flakes. They have octopus, eel, and cod too.
May I try it?
Yes, definitely.
Among dozens of varieties.
It's not overwhelmingly fishy.
Not at all.
Perception of tin foods has really changed, and we're really seeing a lot of startups move into that space.
Alexandra Hayes tracks food trends for her firm Harris & Hayes.
Now take your sardines.
She says social media tinfluencers have sent sardine sales soaring.
We've seen hashtags, one of them is quite prominent, tinned fish date night. You know, it's got over 8.1 million views.
Quaresma says they planned the U.S. store even before the trend, but they are ready to catch the wave.
I like the fact that Americans are very receptive to all of this.
Fish finding new fans as the tiny sardine hits it big. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The fantastic world of the Portuguese sardine also sells its tinned fish online. And shoppers hit the stores with a vengeance this holiday season. MasterCard reports U.S. retail sales increased 3.1% from the previous year. Online sales jumped more than 6% from 2022, while brick-and-mortar stores saw a 2% increase. Restaurants, grocery, and clothing stores saw the biggest increase in sales. And Apple has appealed the U.S. International Commission's import ban on their Series 9 and Ultra 2 watches. The ban went into effect yesterday after the Biden administration decided not to take action to reverse it. The ITC ruled the tech giant had illegally used blood oxygen technology from medical device company Masimo. Apple is asking a federal appeals court to halt the ban until U.S. Customs can determine whether its redesigned watches still infringe on Masimo's technology. And the parent company of Pringles took to social media to ask fans around the globe which flavor out of more than 100 stacks above the rest. Now the results are in, and the snack giant found that its original and sour cream and onion flavored potato chips were consistently chosen as the fan favorites. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
And we've got ourselves a cold, breezy start out there. This is our camera 7th and range line. Now the moon initially was getting through some of this and the clouds were a little more visible, but you can kind of see them right there. We got those mostly cloudy skies out there. There's a better shot of them from our camera on the Cornell complex, downtown Joplin. We still got those gusty winds, but parking lots, roadways, all of that is clear. MoDOT camera, I-44 at range line, and you can see the sun is coming up, but look at this cloud shield that's overhead. And this is going to be our trend for today, as we'll see some peaks of sunshine, but otherwise mostly cloudy skies. KDOT is reporting some slick spots and even some partially covered roadways in our northern counties and southeast Kansas extending into Bourbon County. So if you're traveling this morning, do be aware of that. Slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. The rest of southeast Kansas reported as clear. MoDOT reporting clear initially so far on our side of things as well. Cloudy skies out there on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Not much else. There's that low pressure system, and as it continues to wrap around, we're going to start to get in on some snow showers and maybe a little rain out there as we head into the late morning and afternoon hours. 32 in Joplin, 32 in Pittsburgh. Wind chills, though, into the 20s. It's going to be breezy. West winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. We'll have that rain-snow mix turning into some light snow and flurries as we head into the late afternoon, evening, and overnight hours. We're going to talk more about all of that in your complete forecast right after this. It's also just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, and those are coming up after the break. And we will be back with that and a whole lot more right after this. All right, time for those Wednesday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're going to start in Chanute with Tate Kidwell celebrating birthday number 3. Happy birthday, Tate.
And happy 5th birthday to Kyra Lynn. Love from your mama and all your family.
And in Oswego, we've got Brogan Royer celebrating birthday number 11. Happy birthday, Brogan.
And we got a teenager. Happy 13th birthday to Nolan Sparks over in Baxter Springs.
And Rylan Herlocker celebrating birthday number 13 as well over in Girard. It says happy birthday from Papa Robert.
And happy 23rd birthday to Ricky Edwards of Frontenac. Love, Mom, and family.
And Robbie Schultz celebrating birthday number 45 with love coming from your family. Happy birthday, Robbie.
Taking it over to Columbus, Kansas. Happy birthday to Ben Drager.
Also in Columbus, Todd Layson celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Todd.
And happy birthday, Quentin Morrow over in Fredonia.
And we've got Jared and Laura Earl celebrating their 10th anniversary in Jasper, Missouri. Happy anniversary to the Earl family.
And we have Clyde and Ginny Stalling celebrating their 46th anniversary over in Joplin. Congrats.
And in Columbus, Ronnie and Cindy Johnson celebrating their 48th year of wedded bliss. Very happy anniversary to the Johnson family. Now that is a birthday and anniversary list we can be proud of. None of these had no pictures. They all had pictures, and that was a list of more than 3 people. We love it. We want to keep it that way. Caitlin, how can they help us?
All you got to do is submit to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com.
Of course, make sure you include those photos and any special messages you'd like us to share. And let's take a look now at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And here it is. Not much really on it. Some light snow showers up in Butler County. Butler is in this county, up in Bates County. Outside of that, not much going on other than a lot of cloud cover associated with this big low pressure system. And as it continues to swirl, we're going to start to see an uptick in rain and snow showers. I think primarily snow showers, just with our temperatures today, the wind, the cold air. As we head into the late morning and afternoon hours across the area. The better chances for anything that's really going to stick, I think, will be along into the east of the K7 corridor. Not to say folks out west won't get at least a little bit of something, but the better chances are off to the east of K7, but we're still only talking a dusting to maybe a ½ inch of accumulation. Our concerns here are primarily with the slick spots on the roadways, because with the temperatures being a bit above freezing, and if we get just this wet snow, that's going to stick better to the roadways, especially bridges and overpasses, and that's going to lead to a few more slick spots out there across the area. In addition, with it being a wet snow, it could come down heavy at times, and with our winds gusting out of the west upwards of 25 miles an hour, that could also lead to some reduced visibility. So some things to keep in mind out there. KDOT is reporting some slick roadways, even some partially covered roadways. Now 69 in this latest update, listed as partially covered as you head down into Bourbon County toward Fort Scott, just south of Mound City. So keep that in mind as you're traveling today. That's where we're starting, and we're probably going to see a few more of these slick spots and even partially covered roadways as we head into the afternoon, because the roadways are very cold. If the snow is going to stick to anything, it's probably going to be those and the grassy surfaces. 32 in Joplin, feels like 26 with that west breeze at 7. Pretty well just cloudy skies, but a few peaks of sunlight will be possible across the area today. 31's a string of them there. Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada. 32, a whole nother line here. Monette, Carthage, Lamar, Pittsburgh, Parsons, Neotas, and Chatopa. 33, Independence, Miami, Neosho, and Anderson. You factor in the light breeze that we have now, and it's light compared to those gusts we'll start to see a little later today. 22 is what it feels like in Iola. 24, Fort Scott, Nevada, Lamar. 26, Pittsburgh, feels like 25, Miami, and Neosho. As we go into the late morning, even mid-morning, we'll start to see some of those snow showers, and again, maybe even a little bit of rain in there. But again, the temperatures the way they are, I do believe it's going to be more of a snow shower event. So that's a wet snow. And as you can see, too, on the future track, the more noticeable or detectable precipitation, again, staying off to the east of the K7 corridor. But some flurries, some light snow will be possible across the region as we go into the evening and into tomorrow morning. Another bit of a wintry mix, maybe some wet snow out there as we head towards sunrise, and then we're going to spend our Thursday mostly cloudy, but the cold air, the moisture, some stray flurries will be possible through the day. So we're looking at some light rain and snow, and maybe some snow showers out there. Mostly cloudy otherwise. 34 as we head to the late morning hours. And then we're going to be, again, a little cold. We're going to take a full look at your forecast for the rest of today and as we head into New Year's in just a moment, as well as the news you need to know. And when we make the transition over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., a newborn baby was dumped in the trash by its mother, and one Good Samaritan helped get the infant to safety. We'll have those details.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Multiple first responders were called to a structure fire yesterday evening, just after 7 p.m. Redding's Mill Fire, Joplin Fire, Seneca Rural Fire, the NCAD, and Newton County deputies were called to Timberlost Mobile Home Park, located south of Joplin on Spurgeon Road. Upon arrival, a mobile home was found fully engulfed in flames. Deputies closed Spurgeon Road from Elm Drive to Foliage Road to allow fire equipment through. Redding's Mill Fire says that all 3 occupants made it out of the home safely. Redding's Mill Fire dismissed all units shortly after 9 p.m. and the cause of the fire is unknown at this time. Authorities say a small home is destroyed after an overnight fire in Commerce, Oklahoma. It happened just after midnight yesterday morning on the 400 block of South Elm. Officials say it was a garage behind a residence that had been converted into a home. A woman was treated at the scene for minor injuries. The cause of the fire is unknown, but authorities say space heaters were present. And authorities investigate a fatal crash from Christmas Eve. Troopers say 2 people traveling south on Route H through Freistadt failed to negotiate a sharp turn, left the road, and hit an abandoned house. The passenger, Mary Smith of Dubo, Illinois, died at the scene. The driver was transported to a hospital in Joplin with moderate injuries. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, be ready for some rain, snow mix, mainly some snow showers. No big accumulations, but slick spots definitely possible. Gusty west winds at 25 could also lead to some reduced visibilities out there. Highs in the mid-30s. We're going to drop into the low 30s tonight with some light snow, a few light flurries out there. Flurries for us on our Thursday, upper 30s. A few morning snow showers Friday into the low 40s. Better on Saturday, upper 40s, partly cloudy. Stray showers possible New Year's Eve day. And then we'll have a cold start to the new year, upper 30s, but at least we'll see the sun again. And we'll go back to the low 40s by Tuesday.
And coming up today at noon, we're making dilly crab dip in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Ever wonder what happens to your bag when the airlines lose your luggage? Well, ahead on CBS Mornings, most of you get them back. See how one store is making money off your missing items, and you won't believe what's in stock.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Chris Hicks from Mornings with Mommies joins us in the studio to share some upcoming sessions that they have planned.
Plus, Chucky Hessong from Laughing Rooster Eats joins us in the studio to teach us another great recipe. But that is going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.